Hi, Hayley.
Matt, we made it.
We did it. Best Brands on Earth is on the air.
Episode 1.
Episode 001. We are going to the hundreds.
Hey, hopefully, right?
Hopefully. This is going to be a blast. I can't believe how much work has gone into this for us to get to this point.
You know.
But I had a fun idea.
Uh-oh. Let's hear it.
Roll with me. Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun ideas in this show. So
They're just going to pop up out of nowhere. Okay.
Absolutely. I thought that we could start every episode with a song. And the
Billie
reason
Jean
for that, of course, and the reason is because this show is about not just brands in the corporate sense. It is about things, ideas of influence, right? That can be people, that can be creators, that can be pieces of art, right? And I thought we could start with Billie Jean. And the reason is, one, the vibes, obviously.
Of course.
But two, as I turn it off, is because right now we are at this moment in culture where Michael is back,
Yeah.
right? I just saw MJ the Musical with my family for the second time. Equally awesome.
And did you see the movie?
No, so I've not yet seen the movie. And this is why I think this is such an interesting analogy for our show. Zero judgment if you are an MJ fan or if you're like, that dude's creepy. The
I think
point
both
is,
maybe can be.
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, why does it have to be an or?
simultaneously? Yeah.
It can be an and. So interestingly, I have some notes over here. So the Michael Jackson movie is a 39% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's
has
it?
been called, yes, it has been called, because they're not talking about the tea, right? They're not talking about the stuff. So it has been called disingenuously airbrushed, utterly sanitized, and bland. Yet, it has a 97% audience rating and has grossed over $420 million globally in its first week. And so my takeaway is that the power of brand is real, even after and perhaps because of one's passing, an icon. And it shows that, even brands that are the most polarizing can wield tremendous power and influence, right? MJ, Howard Stern, our current president, Liquid Death, whatever, right? So I thought that would be a fun way to start the show. And I think
It's so
in the future,
interesting
yeah,
because when you look at it, like, I'm not surprised at all that consumers have ranked it so high and it gets such a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes, because Michael Jackson brings back such nostalgia and a love of a time where music truly did like transcend people's lives. Like, it didn't, when you look at some of those videos, and I'm too young to see some of that stuff live, but like the women crying, men crying, people
yes,
watching him. So yes, while he unfortunately probably struggled with some serious mental health issues, he also was one of the most talented human beings on the planet ever.
yes,
And like,
yes.
his music is just so good. So even if the movie sucks, right? Listening to that music and the fact that it's his actual nephew playing him
Yes.
creates such a really cool story to want to go and see. So I don't know. I'm not surprised, and I guess I'm not surprised either that his brand just continues to live on in such a big fashion.
Absolutely. And like, no brand is perfect.
Yeah.
Most celebrities are probably largely flawed, but by the way, they're humans. Just like us. And if any of us
Yeah.
were in that position,
Who
would
knows
likely
how we
have
would have reacted? Yeah.
a lot of difficulty. And I think that extends to brands. I think that people often see these iconic brands as untouchable, and they ebb and flow. And there was a time where Yahoo had the opportunity to buy Google and didn't, right? And here we are today. So anyways, I'm so excited about this show because
Me too.
of who you are and who I am. And we'll talk more about that kind of yin and yang. But one thing I wanted to point out that I think is really, really fun is that it is the 4th of May. And so I say unto you, may the 4th be with you.
Thank you. And you as well.
I Googled this because my better half works at Google, but also because I wanted to know. So I am fascinated. The phrase "May the 4th be with you" was actually first used by the British Conservative Party in a newspaper advertisement on May 4th, 1979, 2 years after the phrase was said in Star Wars, to congratulate Margaret Thatcher on becoming the UK's first female PM. And the ad was in the London Evening News, and it read, "May the 4th be with you, Maggie. Congratulations," playing on the famous Star Wars quote. Now, Lucasfilm and Disney, who obviously now own Star Wars, didn't start the day, but they later embraced it, sponsoring events, and obviously now it's like globally recognized as Star Wars Day. And very proud moment for me upon Googling this is that the first organized fan celebration took place in Toronto at the Underground Cinema in 2011. So shout out to the T-Dot and Canada. You know, always making things happen. My birthplace. Yeah, exactly.
Are you a Star Wars fan? Are you a Star Wars nerd?
You know, it's so funny. I wasn't at all when I was a kid, but now that I have two boys, same with Harry Potter. I was much more Lord of the Rings. But now that I have two boys that are 9 and 6 and are everything that you expect them to be, and of course I've watched all of them. I'm definitely like a late to the party stan, if you will. What about you?
No, that's awesome. I watched the like the originals when I was younger, but I have not seen them in probably a couple of decades. So it's time to rewatch.
They both hold up and are like incredibly. I mean, they were cheesy then, but like, you know.
Oh, but yeah, they also just set off an entire like movement in the cinema world. You know, like it's just so iconic. So just for that reason, to go back and watch even the graphics and animations and things like that, and all of the CGI and how it's changed would be fun.
Totally. So let's talk about why we're here.
Yeah.
Who we are.
Why are we doing this? Why are we talking to each other?
And kind of what you've been up to for the last little while, which certainly has to do with this, and what I've been up to, and I think why we feel like we are uniquely qualified to be partners in this incredibly curious journey that we're going to have. And you did something really fun, which was through our sort of bios and LinkedIn's, et cetera, into AI. So,
I wanted to see what it said about you.
Do you want to see what it says about?
Are you sure you want to see
me?
it? Just kidding.
I'll go after about you.
Yeah, no, yours is. Listen, you have an amazing career so far, so I wasn't scared. But I threw in your name. And it says, Matt Kerbel. He's an 18-year brand builder behind companies like Turo, Lyft, MeUndies, and Call of Duty. My husband will love that. Known for turning cultural insights into breakout growth. He's a strategist and an operator who builds community-driven brands, scales teams, and delivers real business impact through sharp positioning and modern go-to-market thinking. Do you feel like that holds up? Is that true to who you are?
It's funny because AI today is so kind, right? Like everything is like, that's a great idea.
Could you imagine if it said all of that, and then at the end it like just picked out something of like an actual physical feature and was like, but has a,
he leaves his cart in the parking spot at the supermarket.
Don't be that guy. Yeah, exactly. But that would be funny if they picked out like one funny flaw and added it to the end.
Speaking of an hilarious brand, there's my favorite radio show in LA. When I lived there, The Woody Show, they had a spinoff called Cartnarks. And if you go,
I saw the guy on YouTube with the stickers.
Yeah, if you go
he's
to
the best.
Cartnarks on YouTube or on Instagram, and you see Seabass, he is literally the reason why I put the cart away every single time. I am terrified that he's going to show up and go
shame you.
Absolutely shame me and throw a sticker on. All right, who is Hayley Clover AI. Hayley, here we go, is an actress and television host based in PDX in Portland, Oregon, known for her sharp wit and natural ability to connect with audiences. Lovely. She's been
Thank you.
featured in national campaigns for brands like Chewy, the LPGA, CNN, Everyman Jack, and Orange Theory Fitness, bringing humor and authenticity to every project. That has been my experience, I will tell you.
Thank
Hayley
you.
began her on-camera career in broadcast journalism before moving into entertainment hosting and brand spokesperson work across TV and digital platforms.
Sounds about right. At least
Sounds
that's
about
my
right.
experience so far. Yeah, I worked as a local reporter in West Virginia right out of college. And actually, while I was in college, my senior year, I was working part time as a reporter until I graduated. And I just remember, gosh, some of the stories that they sent me on, and then being like, yeah, no, this is not it. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing with my
Ooh,
life.
okay. Now you got to tell us one or two.
Well, I remember one was kind of funny, but then I also like had to drive just so far away to get there. It was a literal cat fashion show. Um, it was a woman that had created clothing for cats. It was to raise money for a shelter, which is nice. But then I was thinking back, like, I was a college kid in college. They were making me drive like an hour and a half away to go watch like a couple of cats walk down this random runway
Excuse
in
me.
like knitted clothing.
YouTubing cat
Cat
fashion
fashion show.
shows, saving for after we record.
Right. And then my other favorites were always when, because I was doing the 11 o'clock news. And so it was like after a full day of classes and stuff and whatever else I was doing. And then did the actual shift and would go home. And then all of a sudden they'd be like, Hayley, somebody just robbed a 7-Eleven. Like you need to go back out by myself as like an 18-year-old into the backwoods of West Virginia. I'm like, you guys want me to go to the scene currently where they're robbing the place? Like, sure, sure. And I just remember being like, no, it's not meant for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
I needed something a bit
feels
more fun.
yeah that feels curious at best. But
Yeah,
anything for a story these days, right?
for sure.
You
It
ever you
taught
ever
me a
see you
lot.
ever see the movie Nightcrawler? Right? Just
Yeah, of course.
absolutely. Another
So,
iconic.
but yeah, otherwise, Miss Chat did pretty good on the bio.
Nice. It's a she. Um, so why did you want to do this? Like, what
Well,
does
I've
best
been
brands?
interviewing
Yeah,
marketers
go
now for
ahead.
like the last year, which because I had you on a show that was called CMO Weekly.
You did. That's how we
And
met.
yeah, and they were amazing conversations and I was learning a ton, but I did realize that to have these really deep conversations that I was wanting to have with marketers, that my expertise really only went so far
Mm,
because my background is not totally in marketing. I have some experience, but I've also just been learning a lot through these folks that I've been interviewing. My background is really the behind the scenes of the people that have been in those ads. So getting to
right.
see folks, on those teams working on set, talking about their brands, why they're creating the certain ads that they're creating, and really learning in that way. And so I thought, how cool would it be if I could co-host this with somebody who had that deep expertise and was actually
Yes.
building those campaigns that I, maybe was in, or other actors like me have been in. And so I don't know. I feel like it's different than maybe some of the other marketing shows that are out there because we are coming from it from a lens of me being the consumer kind of and asking the questions maybe that consumers would have about these ads. And then you saying, well, maybe here's why they did X, Y, and Z. And I imagine that they had to do, this with the budget and that with the team
Totally.
and so, yeah, I think we're kind of a cool match in that sense.
I agree. I remember when we first had this conversation, and I just kept thinking about, I've been on set so many times. You've been on set way more times than I have, but like just thinking about the actors and actresses, or even in some cases, we actually had our real customers as
Yeah.
the talent, and just thinking about I'll just say non-stupid, stupid questions they had, right? Like
Yeah.
the obvious questions that somebody would need to know as they are, not just endorsing, but really like getting into character and
Yeah. What's going to
and
inform?
understanding. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You
right.
have to
Because
have a
there's
base context of what this brand is. And if you have an actor or somebody coming in and they have no idea what the commercial is about after getting the script and after asking some questions, like it's probably not going to translate to the audience. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
And it's an interesting moment because like we've heard this so long, marketers are in an echo chamber and they just want to win awards. But what I love about this show being, really a joint venture with the Clios is
Yeah.
that there really is truly a strong correlation between, those that are awarded for creative excellence and the actual results of that business, because that excellence is being rewarded for moving people,
Right.
for striking a chord because they understood an insight. But the other thing that I would want to say is like, from my perspective, why I was so excited about this is because, yeah, like I do think that, I think there are a lot of great shows out there, but I
Mhm.
also think that a lot of them are like pretty safe. And also, to your point, this duo that we are, which is somebody that has kind of been behind the camera versus someone that's been in front of the camera, and taking this perspective of like stop talking in acronyms and and in business terms, and like we want to understand like the real shit
The human aspect
that,
of it.
right, the
Yeah.
human aspect of it, right, and a lot of these great companies, as I've heard story upon story from something like How I Built This, from
Mhm.
NPR, it just starts with them solving their own problem, and it's
Yeah.
such just like a human thing to be like, this sucks. Somebody
I want to
should
fix
do
it.
something about this,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like to me, the best brands on earth get that. They're all also extremely adaptable. And I think for me, a big thesis of this show was, not just like backwards looking, like what brands have been amazing, and continue to persist in our uh, the things we use, the money we pay, right? The Apples and Nikes of the world. But I think
Yeah.
also times have changed, culturally, macroeconomically, politically, socially. The country makeup is so different now, right? There's been this 20-year period where we're soon going to be in the US a white minority. That was
Mhm.
very different 20, 30, 50 years ago when those brands started. So there's all
Yeah,
these
sure.
factors, right? Not the least of which, of course, is technology as well, that I think it's just so interesting to dig into, like, what does a brand even mean? What is the future of them? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think that's also why, we ended up where we ended up with the name of the show,
Hmm.
because we both were very adamant, and with the Clios as well, about how a brand can truly be not only the company, it can be the creator or the
Hmm.
person, it could be the celebrity, it could be the musician. Back to Michael Jackson, like of course he's his own ginormous and hugely successful brand. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to be able to look at and discover, hopefully, one of the things that the Clios is so known for is discovering some of these even earlier brands or challenger brands that are going to become the best brand on earth and something that everybody recognizes. And so I just think it'll be really cool to be able to do that together and with them, and really just kind of maybe disrupt the industry with some new folks that we haven't heard about.
I love it, and I am such a nerd when it comes to
Mhm.
this stuff.
We
Like,
know. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, those who do, those who
Yeah.
don't will.
Will.
But it's like, well, I'll say this. I was writing down some brands that I love, and then also I think it's important to identify brands that maybe are missing the plot.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you
I
wrote
hope
down a
that becomes
few
a
on your
segment.
end.
I would really love that to become a segment for
Brands
us.
that lost the
Missing, just
plot,
called Missing the Plot.
missing the
Yeah.
plot. All
Because
right,
it's just fun for me too, because I do think sometimes as a from the consumer lens, it is
Yeah.
almost easier for me to be critical about certain companies that maybe I've
Yeah.
been like seeing all the time.
You
But then
don't
it's
work for
also
them.
right. And it's also interesting though to hear from you because yes, I did write down some and maybe I know they always start with like good news first, but a brand that I've been thinking about a lot lately is State Farm,
Mm,
specifically because I almost feel, and tell me if you disagree, that because they're literally everywhere and they have
mm.
taken Jake from State Farm and created this persona that now is everywhere. He is his own like influencer, you know, by
Yeah, he's in
himself.
a show now. They're putting him into a show.
Right. And from a consumer standpoint, I don't actually even think of State Farm anymore as being an option for insurance. I think of it as being like an entertainment source and that
Mm.
guy is now this like that's the brand, Jake. I think more
Yeah.
about Jake as a human than I do being like,
Like, do
yeah, I'm
you
going to call
trust
the Jake
Jake?
from State Farm guy for my insurance. And so I don't know.
That's
I'm like, I
interesting.
almost feel like they're in too many places and they're doing too much for me to yeah trust the reliability of that insurance provider,
That's
whereas with
so
Geico,
fascinating. Yeah.
you know, they were everywhere for a long time and
Yeah.
then did feel like they stepped back a little bit and then kind of brought some of those like literally rebought some of those old commercials like the caveman commercial because one of my acting friends was in that commercial and he was so excited to make residuals again. He was like, this is the commercial that just keeps on giving. um, but they just, I don't know, they found like a very niche part of the market where it was just funny. And so it wasn't as like in your face and corny. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it. But yeah. So my initial thought is that State Farm is just like doing too much right now for me to actually want to
Mm.
be a customer. What do
Interesting.
you think about that from the actual
That's a great question.
marketer's perspective?
It's insurance is so it's always been fascinating to me because it is a perceived commodity, even though it is
Mm-hmm.
so intricate. It's intricate to the point that like no one knows what's in there. So
Right.
you're just basically saying, okay, like it's this equation of do I care more about price because I believe they're all the same, or do I care about brand because I do believe that there's a perceived quality
Right.
that comes from this brand. I think there are, you know, a few that maybe tie the brand marketing to the product marketing more effectively. You know, whether that's Allstate with Mayhem, that's using a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of fear mongering. Geico is a great one that obviously does it with humor.
Humor.
It's interesting when you talk about a Jake, you know, or you know, there's
Because I
Limu and
remember
there's the farmers and there's right
it's
there's
true.
all
They're
these.
all doing a similar type
Yeah,
of
well, and
bit
obviously Flow,
almost.
right? Flow from
Yeah.
Progressive for decades. I
Yeah.
once wrote a post about how I thought that Progressive should sunset Flow, but that's a separate
Interesting.
conversation.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's I hadn't really thought about like so again to to bring in an acronym, these DBAs, these distinguished brand assets as they call them, right? These characters and these sounds and these colors and these logos and these slogans and all these things. It's interesting to think that you know, one may judge a brand more by their spokesperson, their character, than
Yeah.
by the brand itself, right? I mean, I wonder if people stop
I
going to Subway because they're like, I don't want to eat Jared's food.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think that probably happens. I also think that there's probably just as many people on the opposite side of my opinion because they have so many partnerships with professional athletes that everybody
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
that they would immediately think of State Farm first because they're like,
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes is in this ad, you know,
Yeah, or Chris
whoever.
Paul, or yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So I don't know. Yeah, that's where marketing gets very, very hard because all of it's an opinion. At
Yeah.
the end of the
Well, and
day, is how do you figure out what the masses, or at least a majority of people, are going to connect with?
well, and it's fascinating strategically because the question for those leaders is not tell us about, I mean, sure, we're curious as to, you know, for example, how they went from like white average dude with khakis to, you know, the handsome modern black gentleman that plays Jake today and who is, you know, very gregarious and you know, people tend to like him a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about, you know, that shift in strategy, but then also it's really like, okay, but what do the next 2 to 5 to 10 to 20 years look like? Right. And
Well,
how
I guess
do
it
you stay
becomes
relevant?
that too. Like, I couldn't tell you any of their offerings. I can only tell you the characters behind the commercial. And so then I
Mm-hmm.
guess I wonder when that shift has to happen, um, if for folks to like, but maybe it doesn't have to
You,
happen. And we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. I just read the craziest stat. Over 3 billion people open fortune cookies in the US per year.
3 billion?
Billion with a B.
What? Say more about this.
And so I learned that these guys open fortune, they own the fortune cookie, and they're putting brands now inside of this cookie and distributing their messaging through 100,000 restaurants, reaching 300 million people per month.
Okay, I just Googled them. They've worked with is this right? Mr. Beast, SoFi, Bayes, Duolingo, Dr. Squatch, Liquid Death, Waymo, Manscaped, Dude Wipes, Hard Rock, Verizon. I could literally go on. That's crazy.
Yeah, all of them. They're creating these amazing, what they call mini billboard moments inside of these fortune cookies, catching people at a time where they're just not expecting to see an ad. It's a really cool Trojan horse marketing idea.
I should have thought of this.
If you're interested in learning more, which you should be because this is just incredibly cool, head to openfortune.com.
Best Brands on Earth is brought to you by Tracksuit. Every CEO and CFO wants to know, what impact is brand driving for our business? And that's exactly what Tracksuit has set out to answer. Look, most brand teams are either working from stale data or stitching together proxies, Google Analytics, social numbers, the odds survey, whatever, that tell you about your existing customers, but not how the total market actually sees you. Tracksuit is continuous monthly brand tracking. You see what's moving, what's shifting, what your competitors are doing in the category fast enough that you can actually do something about it. And the dashboard is modern, it's beautiful, it's shareable, it's the kind of thing that you'll actually be happy to open. So if you want to find out what your brand health looks like and how you stack up against your competitors in your category, head to gotracksuit.com now. You know, it's also been interesting to me. It's a good, this is an interesting discussion because like I think about taxes and I think about H&R Block, which by the way, like big fan of H&R Block. I think they've come a long way. Their platform is super easy to use. I'm getting paid 0 cents for saying this. We've just been with H&R Block for a very long time. But our guy, Brian, shout out Brian Malinsky in Westwood, California. Secrets out, but don't use him because we do and we need his time. But like, you know, in all seriousness, if Brian left, we'd probably leave.
Right.
Because Brian has been the thing that has become so sacred to us and helpful to us, much even more so than the broader platform itself. And it's always been interesting to me that these companies haven't, and maybe they have, and maybe I've missed this, but they haven't really pushed their like remarkable stories of these agents. You know, and that can extend to anything. That can extend to real estate. That can extend to, you know, all kinds of.
Well, you definitely hit on something though, because you don't humanize H&R Block. You think you're getting on to do everything like yourself. You don't really think about there being an actual agent that's very smart behind H&R Block, or at least I don't know. I don't, especially even this year with like the TurboTax song was stuck in my head all tax season. And every time my husband and I heard it, we'd dance like it worked. And we used TurboTax because we always use TurboTax randomly. But that was
we might have to edit in that TurboTax song.
I think we do. TurboTax. I'll remember it forever. So the song worked. But I also could not believe that they created this like what sounded like AI house music for TurboTax this year.
And it's funny. Like I love the risk taking. I really do, and I'm so excited to talk to brands, influencers, creators, celebrities, whoever comes on the show,
Yeah.
to just talk to them about like risk taking. And there was some big swings that were taken Super Bowl this year. There are big swings that have been taken by all these different brands, particularly these challengers who
Yeah.
are upending the status quo. So yeah, there's
You
a
have
bunch
a
of
favorite
brands
right
that.
now that you're loving?
Well, I wrote down a few.
Give us one.
Okay. Well,
Give us your
I
favorite
mean,
right now.
oh man, that's tough. Um, I love vacation. I love
Mhm.
vacation. I think that what's interesting about them is that they live their address, like in their mind, is Miami Beach in the 1980s.
Totally.
The way that they have like pamphlets, they have just like the way they talk, right? The sort of like gloss of the production value, and then obviously it extends to the sort of glitz but cringiness of like some of their products, like that just all
Body oils and things
smashes.
that you would have had in the 80s.
Yeah, and
Totally.
and then they extend to these like ridiculous, very very limited time,
Hmm.
products that just all have to do with that sort of like 80s Miami Beach life, and
Yeah.
they're very very clear. They're like, we are not the 90s, we are not the 70s, we are not Santa Monica Beach, we are Miami Beach, like, and on, right? They have like a do's and don'ts, and it's not like a don't use our logo in this way, use it in this way. It's like very clear, like this is who we are, this is who we aren't, and that is core to their success.
For sure. I think that's why everybody recognizes it too. Like, I mean, I could tell you off the top of my head, like at least four stores that it's in right now and exactly where it is in those stores because I remember the bottles, what the branding looks like, and once you smell it once, you're going to smell it every single time you walk
Yeah,
back if there's like a tester anywhere. So yeah, it's a really cool bottle. It's also interesting that they can take that nostalgia and live in the 80s and yet still
totally.
create a very like high end luxurious product because it is expensive. It's being sold in like anthropologies and free peoples of the world and so that's a very certain or a very specific consumer that's spending the
Yeah,
$48 on a body oil to go on
they've done
vacation.
a similar job to like a Touchland that has
Hmm.
found itself in places where like sanitizer had never gone.
They made
And
hand sanitizer so cool.
it's beautiful and it
Yeah.
smells lovely, and
And so
it's
efficient in a
clean, so
purse. Oh
efficient.
my
Yes.
God. So nice.
Yes, yes. Tell them.
Yeah, but it
Well,
is so smart.
I wrote down like I'm loving watching some comebacks. I love seeing Gap. I love watching what New Balance is up to.
Yeah.
I think that seeing culture and technology collide, whatnot is doing for social commerce and TikTok Shop, what Chime is doing in banking, and obviously the position that Anthropic has taken. Like all of this is really interesting to me. But I also like watching these creators that are
Hmm.
becoming their own like business entities, right? So whether that's Alex Earl or Mark Rober that like my kids are absolutely obsessed with right now, or Darman, who I just ran into recently, who is absolutely a force. So
Yeah.
I think all of those, and even celebrities, like all of those are on the table because there's this interesting collision of culture and entertainment and products and technology and creativity and community. Like I know these are all just like a bunch of words, but I really do think like they are smashing into each other like never before.
Well, and one thing that we talked about too was our excitement of hopefully getting duos on the show as well, because a lot of what
Yes.
you were just talking about has so much crossover. And so if we can well, my favorite crossover ever of the last, I should just say couple of weeks is still a big Survivor fan. They had Mr. Beast on Survivor on the last episode and he brought in this like huge twist to the game and it was incredible to watch. And even if I don't necessarily watch Mr. Beast on my own, because now he's in Survivor, there's like just this really cool crossover of the creator world and the entertainment world. And it would be awesome to have, a Jeff Probst and a Mr. Beast
Totally.
talking about that collaboration and
I'd
why that was
I'd
such a
watch
big thing for them.
that. I'd
Yeah,
listen to
exactly.
that. And also I think that something that a lot of these shows miss is, look, call a spade a spade. Marketers come and they go, and some have been with brands for a very long time, and like, shout out to them for having the amazing relationships with their executive and board member counterparts to stay for that long and to really build these things. Andrew, who I worked with at Turo, Andrew Mock, who's now the CMO of HeyGen, which is an amazing company, was at Turo for, I believe, 12 years. So
Oh,
really
wow.
built it like all the way to this incredible place that it is today. And now David and team have taken over and continue to build upon that foundation in a really great way. But I think that, like, if to the duo's point, if we can get like these founders who have such an outsized impact on they are the story, right? They
Yeah.
are the story on the marketing. I think of a brand like Bobby, which another one that I love so much, and
Yeah.
Kim is a dear friend, and she has been working with Laura, who founded Bobby and is the CEO since basically day one,
Yeah.
and their relationship is so beautiful. And of course, there's so many more people that are involved in the success of the marketing and strategy and sales and building and product of Bobby. But I think having those two on would really help to show, like, this is what an amazing founder and marketer, or CEO and marketer relationship looks like. And I think there are, I think Elf is another example. I think Rocket, what I'm seeing, today, is an incredible example. So I
I
love the notion of not just having the marketer, you
Yeah,
know?
I think we need to manifest Kim from Bobby and a Cardi B collaboration.
Mm,
That
I'm,
partnership was unexpected, really cool, and
yes.
do you know
I
how
mean, the
fun that interview
hotline,
would be if Cardi B was, well, literally any conversation you
but
could
also
possibly have with
like,
Cardi B.
not like, it was, it wasn't even unhinged. It was so well done. And
Oh yeah.
fun fact, I was with Kim the night, I think it was the night or 2 nights before it dropped in New York. And she showed me some stuff, and she was,
Oh fun.
I don't know, sorry Kim, but like, you were nervous. You were nervous about this big thing, which is natural,
Sure,
right? We
it's
all get that way. And I just said to you, Kim, this is amazing. And
yeah,
like, I'm
it's gonna hit.
so stoked for this to drop. And it was like the 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 human truth, the data point behind it was so profound. And then the way that it was executed to not just like use Cardi B to like hawk Bobby, but it was like, no, we in true Bobby form, we are here to fix the thing.
Well,
And they
and
are
fun
relentlessly
enough.
consistent about that. Yeah.
Totally, because I actually had the pleasure of interviewing Kim and would love to interview her again because it was such an awesome, fun interview. Cardi B was actually the one that had reached out to them.
Right.
She
That's
was
right.
she used Bobby's formula for her kids, and so it wasn't even like a we're really trying to make this celebrity fit happen. It
Yeah.
was just she was a actual fan and user of the formula, and I think, just because of who she is, it made it so surprising and so
Uh-oh,
fun.
I think we're gonna have like an authenticity alert. The word
Yeah.
authenticity. Should we just like take a shot every time we say authenticity on this show? Because
They
oh
might
my
die.
goodness, it we might die. Okay. I think we've talked about
I want
what
to ask
this
you
is
some
about.
like
Yeah.
rapid fire questions so people get to
Same.
just know you.
Same. All
And
right.
then
So yeah,
we'll
we
talk
we
so
wrote
much
these
about marketing
down.
that we won't bore people anymore
We
today.
wrote these down. We have lightning round questions for each other, and then we're going to introduce a fun way that we're going to finish every single show. All right, so you go first, and then I'll go.
Okay. Da, 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 da. Feels like it needs the old Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music.
Oh yeah.
Okay, if you had to build a brand tomorrow with no money, where would you start? And
Oh,
what would you build?
okay. I have two things that come to mind. One is actually, I've thought about this before. A challenger brand product, whatever, to Kleenex. I feel like it is like the last uh, household staple that has not been disrupted by like design and product and brand. Maybe it's been tried, but I
They
just
just have
like
such a
there's
market
they
share.
they 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 do, but I
They
just
are the
like
market.
there must be a better way. If toilet paper can do it and wipes and all these
Yeah,
things, like
it's true.
why are we still covering these boxes with these covers? And but
Interesting.
the other one is I think I would like I think I would like vibe code some sort of app that would play better hold music. I just loathe the like three hold music songs that tend to
Or
exist for every damn company.
that's actually such a good idea because at least like have a playlist where you're not hearing the same thing over and over again. Like
Oh
even if
my
it's like
god.
elevator music, but like change the elevator music
Can
as I'm moving.
Spotify just buy these companies and then we can just like play Missy
Pick our
Elliott
own
while we're
music.
waiting? Yeah, dude,
Smart. I like that.
dude.
Okay, is there a hill that you used to die on that you've like completely changed your mind about, whether it's marketing or just something in your personal life?
Yeah, I think that I used to truly believe that like technical aptitude on the job was so much more important than soft skills. Like I
Mm,
think I just felt like soft skills, as most people initially do, are like fuzzy and like you have it or you don't, and like they come with time and like sure. But I actually think that so much of the training that happens in our jobs really comes through just doing it.
yeah,
Um, I think that's truer now than ever. And I actually think that what has been completely undertaught, undersold, underleveraged for almost as long as I have, been around is soft skills. I do believe they can be taught. I do believe they should be taught in school, on the job, and I think that that is a new hill, maybe a mountain, if you will, that will be hard to knock me off. So I think
cool.
soft skills are the most underrated and important skills in business.
Love that. Is there a brand that you love that you feel like you shouldn't love?
Oh, oh man,
Like
there's
maybe
a
there's a
Brit.
brand that you're like, I love, even though you're like, I think this marketing is whatever. Like I don't even
No,
think
I
this is how
no,
I
I
do
think
it.
it's
Or,
the opposite. I think it's the opposite. I think that actually the marketing is like hilarious, and it's called Duvin. It's out of
okay.
Florida, Duvin, and I just like I don't know. I feel like maybe it's sort of like a nostalgia or like childish part of me that just loves it. It's not that it's like the like the products are dope, but I don't know. I feel like maybe
What
I'm
is
like
it?
clinging to being 20. It's just like it's like shirts and cardigans and hats and
Okay.
stuff like that. But like it's just so it just makes me feel like fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe it's like
That's
the whole
good.
like Matt, you're in your 40s and like you like should act like it. And I'm like, no, I want like to just like go out and look hilarious. So I literally have a shirt I'll wear one day that says sorry in like colorful letters on the front, and then the back it says out of office. And I just
Like
like
it.
kind of love that vibe on vacation, or maybe not on vacation, just for funsies. I'm also Canadian. We say sorry. So
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, you say sorry.
Yeah,
No, I
we
love it.
do.
I mean, obviously they've found their consumer.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. What's a conversation that you're hoping that this show forces us to have?
I think it's just like the definition of like brand is something that is just like thrown around, and so many people have opinions on it, and like what is branding and brand building and marketing and advertising and all these things. And I just think that like I'd love to just like get clear on that shit. like I know what it is to me. And I also feel like we talked about this recently, but like brand kind of has a brand problem.
Brand needs a rebrand.
It needs a rebrand. I think it's just kind of tied to the Mad Men days of yore. And that is just like, that's like a component of it, right? Like, a TV ad is like an expression of a brand to me, but it is not the brand. So
Totally.
that's something that I think I'd love to ask our folks that come on the show, like what it means to them and like what it means moving forward.
Yeah. I love it.
All right.
That's what I've got for you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hayley, what's one thing, something most people don't know about you?
It's funny, every time there's questions like these, I'm like, okay, very literally, I have a really big birthmark on my left leg. You wouldn't know that about me. You won't see my leg in this podcast ever. Unless I lift it up. I'm not that flexible.
Fair enough. Am I wearing pants?
I feel like
You'll never. I don't know. Am I?
Nobody knows.
Never know. Nobody
You'll never
knows.
know. I feel like I do a good Velociraptor impression.
You may proceed.
I feel like I've got to do the whole thing.
Okay.
You've got to come out of the frame. You got to do the whole voice, all the stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's it. That's what I'll go with.
In a future episode, I will do the Muppets. I'm pretty good at that.
Okay. Love that.
Okay. What did you want to be when you were growing up? And if you ended up doing something different, what changed?
Okay. The first thing that I can remember really wanting to be when I was a kid was a dentist. I used to pull kids' teeth out on the bus. Like if they had loose teeth and wiggly teeth and they were too scared to do anything, I'd be like, yeah, get on over here. And I'd literally like twist it and just pop it out.
You're like, there's money on the back of that thing.
Because I can remember getting off the bus like with my friend Sam, who I had just pulled his teeth, and being like to our parents, look, he lost a tooth. I pulled it out. My mom being like, oh God, like my daughter is just pulling people's teeth out. I did not end up being a dentist, as everybody can see. One, because I absolutely hate going to the dentist. I'm like, I've done a complete 180. I think once I realized that I was prone to cavities and I was spending an unfortunate amount of time at the dentist, I no longer wanted to be a dentist.
Fair enough.
I did have, if you asked my parents, though, they would tell you that I always had a fascination with the red carpet and with award shows and presenters at them. And so there was always something like that there. And so I guess I've done a little bit of that, but
tracks.
Yeah.
More of that. Okay. Two quick ones. One, if you could put one thing, anything on a billboard, what would it say?
That is so hard.
Okay. We'll come back.
It could be literally
here's an easier
anything.
one. Here's an easier one.
It would say, no, okay. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Because this would mean I'm manifesting a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl win. It would say, your Super Bowl champion, Buffalo Bills 2027.
Damn. Okay, Josh Allen, if you're listening,
let's go.
And you better be, feel free to come on the show.
Yeah, seriously.
We'll have a Buffalo. I mean, that Bills Mafia, we might have to get the leadership of the
and it
Bills
would look
Mafia.
like a broken table. That's what the billboard would look like.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
It. See, you're a marketer.
Thank you.
Okay. Speaking of that, what's a brand that you would die on a hill for?
Yeah, that is one for sure. Okay, this is Spindrift, the sparkling water.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried a lot of sparkling waters. I think by far they have the most natural tasting sparkling water. It is
as I'm
healthy.
drinking a bubbly, which is not.
Yeah, and there's been so many tests lately of the like trace chemicals and things that are found in sparkling water. They're ranked, very low on the list of anything that showed up. So, yeah, I would die on the hill specifically for sparkling waters. That Spindrift is by far the best sparkling water on the market.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna finish with something fun. So, for those who are watching or listening, we have sponsors that are
Yeah.
making the show possible. And one of our sponsors is Open Fortune. So Open Fortune is awesome. They are the purveyors of basically anytime you ever see a fortune cookie that has an ad in it, which I equate to like a mini billboard and a text message had an unignorable baby. Like, who doesn't open and love their fortune cookie? And they are awesome. We love their team. They have incredible clients, ranging from Mr. Beast to Verizon to SoFi. They've done stuff with Chime, with Liquid Death, with Duolingo, et cetera, et cetera. So what we're going to do to honor them and this ritual is you and I have a bunch of fortune cookies each. I will do the honors today.
Yes.
But in each of these cookies from Open Fortune, shout out, thank you, is a sort of thought-provoking question
For our eventual guests.
that ultimately will be for our guests. Today it is for us, but rather than us having like a, Guy Raz, was this journey because of luck or hard work every single time type of question, we're going to let the cookie ask us the question.
Tell us the future.
So here we go. So I will open this.
And now we've become an ASMR podcast as well.
Had to go there. Okay.
You're going to have to eat it and chew after.
Okay, so here we go. So sometimes the opportunity you've been looking for is right in front of you. What is one thing about your work that you remain incredibly proud of? Good question, Cookie.
I think for me, it's just the range of people that I've interviewed across my career from all different walks of life. And so I'm proud of the fact that I've gotten to learn from so many different folks. It's, people, whether they were celebrities or creators or producers, people behind the camera, all the marketing folks that I've interviewed. Yeah, I think I'm just proud that I've gotten their stories out, and then also proud that I've gotten to learn from them.
Isn't that the thing? Curiosity is like, it's the reason why I got into marketing, but I love that like it's led us to this point. I love that answer, and I'm very excited for you to continue to be able to do that. I think mine is similar but different. Is just that that like this kind of unpredictable sort of career path that I've been on, in which I've made all these kind of choices have led me to this opportunity, which is a plot twist as far as my career is concerned.
Right.
And I just love that possibility exists, and that, that putting in the work, building relationships for 10, 15, 20 years, and having a perspective about what we do, I guess it enables some people to believe that I'm a good fit for something like this. And that just makes me really proud, because it's not just like a campaign. It's like, this is a body of work that has led, me to this point that is such a macro view, and isn't just like, what did you do at Lyft, or what did you do at Turo, or what did you do here or there, right? It's the confluence of all those things, and that's really, and that makes me proud. And now my kids are like, Dad's a YouTuber. I'm like,
you've gotten some cool points at home.
Oh my goodness! I'm like, guys, I got you. Like, I'm gonna pave the way for your YouTube dreams,
Love it.
which are both terrifying and lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
And adorable. Well, awesome. Well, hopefully, folks who've watched or listened to this get a sense of who we are, why we're here, what we're excited to learn. We promise that this will be raw. We will ask good, hard questions. We are not here to be boring. We are not here for platitudes. What about you? What are you most excited about?
A lot of fun banter along the way.
Yeah.
Marketing podcasts or businessy podcasts don't have to be boring.
Yeah, but at the same time, we want people to like take away some real things that they can apply to.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Their brands, their themselves, their teams, whatever. That's our goal. We really hope you guys enjoy it.
And if there's anyone specifically you want us to have on the show, or topics that you've been like dying to hear about on panels that just haven't ever like hit the mark there, or that you just haven't heard yet, let us know.
DMs are open.
Yeah.
We will see you next time when we have some incredible guests that are lined up, and next time we will have one of those with us.
Love it. I'm excited, Matt, and I will see you for the next episode.
Thanks, guys. Bye, Hayley.
Best Brands on Earth is a podcast from the Cleos, hosted by Hayley Clover and Matt Kerbal, produced by Third Wall Creative. Original music for BBOE composed and produced by Brett Turner and Ian Williams. This has been Best Brands on Earth. Until next time.